Hello everyone, welcome to today's news chatter. Let's begin with a prelims practice question. Take a look at this question. It's a statement-based questions. 3 statements are provided and they have asked how many of the above is or are correct. So we need to find out how many of the above given 3 statements are correct. First one, it reserves 1/3 of all seats for women in Lok Sabha as well as state legislative assemblies. What is it talking about? It is talking about the Constitution 106th Amendment Act 2023. So they are telling it reserves 1/3 of seats for women, which is a well-known fact. But they are mentioning it is reserved not just in Lok Sabha but also in state legislative assembly. Second one, the reservation will be effective after the publication of the census. Third, the reservation is for a time period of 15 years. So even though the bill got passed, the government has told that it will come into effect only after reservation. Only after the publication of the census. So second statement is also correct. The first statement is also correct. And the reservation is for a time period of 15 years. So this is a little confusing statement because generally for SC/ST reservation, it is for 10 years. Then we will have to again pass an amendment act and increase the time period. But when it comes to the women reservation, it is 15 years, which is a correct statement. So all the above statements are correct. Health policy of India. Now, today there were a lot of articles related to health, and health is a very important topic under paper 1, GS1, and then GS2 also. So for when it comes to health and education, you need to have a complete idea about the important schemes, important policies, constitutional articles that talk about health or education, the schemes which have been passed by the government and the government's policies. So let's start with the constitutional articles which talk about health in Indian Constitution. Article 39E. It states that it directs the state to secure the health of workers, health of children also is mentioned in Article 39 Clause E. Article 42, it talks about the maternity relief and humane work condition of the people. Talks about maternity relief based on which we have passed the Maternity Benefits Act also. Article 47, it talks about the prevention of intoxicating products in the country. It also talks about raising the nutrition level and standard of living of the people and improving the public health. Article 243 G talks about the responsibility of panchayats and municipalities to strengthen public health. The problem here is in India, if they ask whether uh, universal health benefit or whether universal health program is a fundamental right, it is not. It is not a fundamental right. It is mentioned in the directive principles only. So health, right to health can be mentioned as a extended right under Article 21, but however, explicitly it has not been mentioned anywhere. So this is one thing which you need to know. Now let's talk about the important things that are mentioned in National Health Policy 2017. Why do we have to study this? Even though it is a policy that was passed in 2017, we have to study about it because in mains examination, when you are writing steps to implement or the way forward, in such cases, you cannot write things out of nowhere from your own idea. You have to mention certain things that are in the policy of the government, that are mentioned by any particular committee, recommended by any particular body. So such things should be mentioned. So that's why we need to know about the national health policy. Certain important factors, it aims to reduce premature mortality from certain specific lifestyle diseases such as cancer, cardiovascular disease, chronic respiratory disease, and diabetes also. So for all these diseases, the policy tells that it has to reduce the mortality by 25% by 2025. Most of the targets are for 2025 in the National Health Policy. It aims to make health services and medicine affordable, increase the affordability of the medicine. The most important point here is it wanted to make a health service gender sensitive also. So this point should be noted down. It talks about multi-stakeholder approach. So it does not tell that only the government will try to make health benefits in the country. It does not tell that it is the responsibility of Ministry of Health to take care of health. It tells that health ministry, other departments in the government, NGOs, community bodies, etc., all of these things should come together to ensure better health for the people. It talks about pluralism. Pluralism means other things also. We will not just restrict ourselves to allopathy. We will be talking about homeopathy also. We'll be talking about other Ayush related medications also. So all these things are the basic objective of the national health policy. Now let's look at some of the important targets fixed by the government. Only when you read the targets fixed by the government, we will know whether we are on track or not. So the first and foremost important point is it wanted to increase the amount of health expenditure to 2.5 percentage of GDP by 2025. Even now we have not achieved it. We are around 2.1 percentage, but soon we will reach this point. It wanted to increase the life expectancy of people to 70 by 2025. It wanted to reduce the total fertility rate of the country to 2.1 by 2025. This point is important because we have already attained it. We have already attained the 2.1 percentage, 2.1 for total fertility rate. Total fertility rate is the number of children born to a woman in her lifetime. Reduce under 5 mortality to 23 by 2025. We have not reached it yet. We are on track. And the maternal mortality rate should be less than 100 by 2020. This has already been achieved. At present, in 2021, it was 97. So we have already achieved it, but we have not achieved this under 5 mortality. We are still working on it. Increase the utilization of public health facility by 50% by 2025. More than 90% of the newborn should be immunized by 2025. These are all the basic targets which the government has told in national health policy. Women political representation in India, anything related to elections is important. So women political representation is extremely important because of the Constitution 106th Amendment Act, which was passed in 2023, which provides a reservation for women in Lok Sabha and state assemblies also. So this particular topic for this year's mains is very important. Let us begin with a very good data. The percentage of women in parliament has increased from 4.5 percentage in 1957 to 14.4 percentage. It is a huge increase from 4.5 percentage in 1957 to 14.4 percentage by 2019. The Constitutional Amendment Act want to give 33 percentage reservation. So once this gets implemented, then the women's representation will increase hugely. The Convention on Elimination of All Form of Discrimination Against Women 1979 is an international convention which was signed by India also. World Economic Forum in its gender gap report of 2023 told that when we talk about political empowerment of women, India has made very good improvement. It has achieved 25% parity. So 1/4 of women are participating in election in comparison with men. So there it is a good development is what World Economic Forum has told. The most important point for this year's examination, let it be prelims or mains, is 106th Amendment Act 2023. It has reserved 1/3 of all seats, that is 33.3 percentage of the seats for women in Lok Sabha, State Legislative Assembly, and the Legislative Assembly of National Capital Territory of Delhi, including those reserved for SC and ST. Apart from SC/ST reservation, women reservation will also be there. It will go on for 15-year period, and it will be based on the further amendments that will be done to the constitution. It can get extended also. One important app about which you need to know for this year's prelims is the Suvidha app released by the Election Commission of India. It is a solution developed by Election Commission of India itself. It is not done by any other technical government bodies. Done by Election Commission of India itself. This point is important. Why was it introduced? To ensure a level playing field among all the parties to conduct a free and fair election and transparent election. So what is it about this portal? In this portal, the politicians or people who are contesting in the election can go and ask for permission. What kind of permission? Permission to conduct rally, to take out some vehicles, to provide pamphlet, to place loudspeakers, to display banners, to carry on with a video van all over the district or their constituency, door-to-door canvassing, temporary party, having a temporary party in some particular party office in some particular place, flying air balloons and helicopters and helipad. So all these permissions can be attained from the Election Commission of India through this portal itself. You don't have to meet anyone, or everything is completely faceless. And the principle of first in, first out is followed. That is first come, first served. Anyone who asks first will get the permission also first. Some important points related to MSMEs which you can use in your mains answer writing, because MSMEs is the favorite topic of UPSC asked in GS3. According to the government's data, the government itself has told that there are 7 crore MSMEs across the country. 7 crore is a huge number. And in total, 12 crore people are dependent on it. They are employed there. So this shows the importance of MSME sector in India. The MSME sector's contribution to the GDP is 29%, which is very high. Out of the total exports of India, 50% of the exports come from MSMEs. Out of the total manufacturing, MSMEs account for 1/3 of India's manufacturing output. I very strongly recommend everyone to study this and remember each and every point, take a note of it somewhere, so that for mains it will be extremely helpful. Now going to the prelims pointer of the day, assets under management. Any economy related term is very important. Assets under management has been accelerating, has been growing at 18% in the fiscal year 2024. So we need to know what exactly this term means. It's very simple, very easy. It is the total value of all financial assets of maintained by an individual person or by a financial institution. So in India, assets under management of NBFCs has been growing very nicely in the recent times. NBFCs are non-banking financial institutions. So financial companies. So NBFCs maintain assets under management. That is the total amount of assets maintained by the NBFC. So for example, I'm an investor. So I will want some advice. I have a lot of money. I want to go to a person who can give me very good financial advice, who can do the investment instead of me sitting and investing in each and every place. So I will give my money to that person or to that organization and they will invest. So this is what NBFC means. The total amount of investment that a NBFC manages is called assets under management. So what are all the things that come under this? Bank deposit, mutual fund, cash, funds under discretionary management from individual investors. Everything comes under this. Assets, performance, capital appreciation, and reinvestment, dividend, all these things helps in growth of assets under management. So for example, if in a country, like let's say in India, the GDP is growing, the capital is appreciating, so people will invest more. If they are able to get good amount of dividends, good amount of returns from their investment, they will go again more for investment. So all these factors help in increasing the assets under management. More assets under management mean the economy of the country is growing very well. So that will be all for today. All the best. Study well. Let's meet tomorrow.